Welcome, everybody. Good to see you all.
Hello.
Like, have everybody coming in and just gonna maybe ask that folks stay on mute for a little bit. This is definitely gonna be interactive and we're gonna be able to ask questions, all the things, but just so we minimize the like doop 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 kind of thing that happens sometimes. Zoom. And
There we go.
got
Now
people
I'm me.
coming in. Oh, perfect. Yep, there's you. And I'm gonna wait for just a couple more minutes and let folks trickle in here. I've heard from a few people that they were bummed they couldn't make it live, but so grateful that we're keeping things. We'll have the recording posted because this is definitely something that a lot of people look forward to in our knit alongs.
So the weather
Um,
looks very snowy there.
yes,
Look at that.
yes, it is. We have had such a winter, a real winter. We've had snow that has stayed around because being on coast in the coastal space, as you know, we could get in that pattern of, oh, we have beautiful snow and then it rains. Oh, we have beautiful snow and then it rains. And this one, it stayed cold, it stayed snowy, and we're
Nice.
wearing our knits. What about for
So
you?
good. It's been a little bit cold here, like for the coast, which is not that cold. But yeah, still green. I don't know. Uh,
Wow.
so the rest of Canada is getting quite the dump, and we're just waiting to see if we'll get anything. So we'll see.
And remind us where you are again.
So I'm in British Columbia, so just on the far west coast. And I'm just like an hour outside the city.
Gotcha. So
Yeah,
you have some beautiful nature around.
we do. Yeah, we have the
Mm.
view of the mountains. We're always kind of a stone's throw away from the ocean. And in my neck of the woods, we have a really lovely big lake as well. So we
Mm.
spend tons of time at the lake up here.
That is
That's
awesome. Well, we are right at the top of the hour, and I am Iris. I'm from Cashmere Goat in Camden, Maine, and this is a really special part of our knit alongs at Cashmere Goat is we try to reach out to the designers who design the beautiful patterns that we knit and see if they have time for maybe for a little informal meetup. And that's what we're going to do this evening with Alexa Ludeman, who is the designer of the Cartography, which is what we are knitting this year for our winter knit along in 2026. And if you've been around for a little while with the goat, you'll know that this makes it a three-peat with the Tin Can Knits design for our knit alongs.
so
And that's
proud.
really, yeah, I mean, it's a testament to your patterns and how much we value them and really value what you do for knitters and just well written clear patterns and also support resources, tutorials, blog posts. So there's a lot of support and it's just really special. So we're excited to have Alexa here with us. And you know this Zoom is going to be somewhat informal, like we will usually. So we'll start with a little bit of just hearing from Alexa. It's always fun to just hear about like coming to designing sweaters, like it's just and not just sweaters, coming to design work period. And then what is life like as a knitwear designer. It's just fun to hear these stories for us, and super exciting. As most of you already know, new app improvements to the Tin Can Knits app, which already was pretty great, but now it's like exploded into greatness. So I'm sure we'll have a little bit of talk about that too. People have questions as we're going. I don't know, Alexa, you okay with just sort of popping in with a question here or there?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
I love questions.
Yeah, perfect. So you can just like, if you've got something and you're waving your hand around and I don't see you, just you can unmute and just throw something in there or in the chat if you prefer. So without further ado, welcome, Alexa. Thanks for being
All
here with
right.
us.
Thanks so much for having me again. I was so pleased that you folks picked the cartography. It's one of my favorite knits. I've knitted a few times, and I've knit it for I do quite a bit of knitting these days for always my kids, but also my little nibblings, my little nieces and nephews. So it's always good to be able to, I don't know, I like a reknit from time to time. I also like a novelty, but this one's always fun to me. I love the small repeats of the color work, and I always love that it looks more impressive than it is, which I always think is like a good feature in a knit. It looks like you're very accomplished, even though it's really just two colors at a time. Yeah, I am most excited to hear about everybody's knits, but is there any questions you want to start with? I could tell you a little bit more about how I designed this one. It's part of our Strange Brew collection, which is still one of our favorites. And we designed the recipe so you can kind of design your own yoke. I'm sure that'll be your next knit after you're addicted to color work. And a lot of times I like a simpler design. It's kind of got one feature, maybe one main feature. But then this one was kind of the more is more design. So it was the all over. And because we do so many sizes, it's always nice to have kind of a small repeat because it makes it easier to get kind of the right fit for everybody. And I was just immediately addicted to knitting this knit. Like I could never put it down. It was one I finished one sample before we left for Iceland, and then I was knitting the second one as we kind of went on our journey. And the photos on the pattern are maybe some of my like favorite photos ever. It's just my kids chomping down on pastries, which was super fun, and being silly in a field, which is pretty great always. So yeah, it kind
Totally.
of all comes together sometimes, all the fun things.
Well, and what we remembered from our very first meeting with you was you mentioned this as your desert island knit,
Yeah,
if you could bring one pattern with you. And that just kind of like the wheels were turning. We're like, wow, that sounds pretty good.
I think it still is my desert island knit. I just cast one on. I was inspired by all of your beautiful photographs from everybody on Instagram, and so I started just a wee size. Doesn't look like much yet. It's gonna have like
Oh,
different
so
colors
fun.
going through it, and it's got kind of a dark teal.
Yeah,
So we'll
nice.
see.
What are your yarns that you're using?
This one is so I'm knitting in a sport weight, so it's a bit of a we'll see how she goes. And this one's a farmer's daughter fibers,
Nice.
like a
Mm-hmm.
very bouncy wool. And then
Mm.
this one is a bit of spin cycle. Just the color change
Okay.
always intrigues me.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Super. All righty. Well, should we just bust into a little show and tell? I might call on Julie because Julie, just as I was about to hop on Zoom and everything, I see this email from you that's like, I finished. And I was like, oh my God, just in
Yay.
time. So I'm going to spotlight you. Oh, look at
There. Yes, I finished. Woo, woo, woo.
Beautiful.
Stand up. I don't know if it's
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
so
Beautiful.
I'm left-handed and I tend to rebel against rules, so I did my own thing.
I
But I
love
used
that.
your pattern and it was so helpful. And as I said to the ladies here before, my numbers, my count always was the same as the pattern. That's never happened ever.
That's like a miracle in
It
knitting.
would say 68 stitches and I'd count and I'd go, oh my God. So anyway,
Oh, it is.
I love the colors. I just finished these sleeves like an hour ago. So I haven't blocked the sleeves, but I did block the body. So it will be less lumpy. But it was very easy to follow and I so appreciate your pattern. It was wonderful. I am going to make some grandchildren's sweaters for sure because I didn't realize these were your children, right?
They are, yeah.
Super cute. So and that the 2-color is definitely easier than 3-color. Some of these are 3-colors. They get a little twisted up. But otherwise, I've never done color work before. So I appreciate
Amazing.
I love the knit-alongs and
Awesome.
yeah.
And how did you choose your motifs?
I kind of made them up.
Love it.
So, well, one thing I started with was on Ravelry. I looked up cartography on Ravelry of other people who had done your pattern. And another person had very similar colors to what I wanted to use. And so I did use, actually, I took some screenshots of those. And then I used GoodNotes on my iPad. And I just got a graph design and kind of colored in what I thought looked about right. And like these flowers, I got that from her.
Lovely.
And I forget. Oh, the other one that I really like the best is down here. That part I really that one and wait, there's another one. Not that one. I forget where it is. Oh, this I like this one.
It looks like
They look like little
pansies.
pansies, right?
Right.
Mhm.
Yes.
Which I didn't think of till Iris said that. I thought, well, they do look like pansies. I think they're probably supposed to be. So yeah, I had a little bit of trouble. On my end, not from yours, but the cuffs. I wanted them to be smaller because my cuff, is it called cuff when it's around the bottom of the sweater? I don't know what it's called, but
Ribbing?
it's ribbing. Yeah, it's too loose in my opinion, but I'm just going to have to go with it. But what I ended up doing is going down 2 needle sizes, and I did the twisted knit one, purl one, knit one, that ridge, and it much better. So the twisted knit, I kept hearing Iris saying, well, I don't like it, but I like how it looks. So I was with you on that one. So anyway, yeah.
Hooray,
I just find
Julie.
necklines and cuffs are very personal, right? You want it tighter or looser.
Yeah.
Same with the cuffs. Mine started out kind of right, and now they've kind of loosened. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to fix that or live with it.
Yeah, I did look it up, and I saw that some people actually use elastic to if they really want it to be smaller. I don't know that I'm going to need to do that. We'll see. I haven't blocked these sleeves yet, so I did get the whole thing wet, and was then after it was already wet realized, oh wait a minute, maybe the purple's going to bleed, but it didn't, thank God. But so now I know I can do the sleeves too, which is going to be a little tricky because I don't think I want to reblock the whole thing. So anyway.
Awesome. Well, thank you and bravo, Julie. Awesome.
Thanks.
And I was going to also say, Alexa, I think something very fun with this has been we always like to try to pick a knit along design that has some choice, but we've never had one that had the hat. And that has been awesome for folks who didn't think they had the time to do a sweater. Or it turns out now they're on like their 3rd hat, or using the hat as gauge swatch, or and it's just that has been super fun because it's just allowed us to include more folks in the mix. So
many of our designs start out as hats. If we're ever trying to figure anything out, usually we start with a hat. So that's excellent. It's nice to be able to kind of dabble in color work too.
Yeah, and people are like, "Whoa, this was fun! This was a blast!" Like and then I just cast on for my next one right after it.
Total potato chip knitting, right?
Yes. I saw Ginny, you had your hand up.
I finished.
Yay, let's see.
Oh, beautiful.
That's so cute.
Fun.
And
A
you
classic
can't
color
you can see
combo.
the iridescent. Yeah, I copied the one that you had, and but it's an iridescent white.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, very nice.
Party. So it's a size 1, 2. Well done. And well, I was pretty good on all the numbers, except the second sleeve somehow I had 1 too many stitches, and I was like, oh, knit 2 together.
Nothing.
Knit 2 together when I get to the ribbing. I like that, being that confident in my knitting, right?
Yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
Hey.
Nice.
Awesome.
And I had it with me this weekend. I was at Vogue Knitting New York, and you're with a group of people we live, eat, and breathe knitting. And when I would pull it out, people were like, "Did you do that? You made that sweater?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I hate to tell you, it's kind of easy. And they're like, "No, that's amazing." So I was spreading the word everywhere about this sweater.
Excellent.
And
It's
everybody
nice
loves Tin Can Knits.
Oh, thank you.
Definitely.
That's excellent. I was just writing a little bit about my parents and how I knit for them sometimes. And I think that they like telling people that I knit something for them, like even more than the knit itself. Like I know my mom's sitting in the cob shop hoping someone will be like, "That's a beautiful sweater." So she
Well,
can be
that-
like, my daughter knit it for me.
that's for a granddaughter who is going to be born in the next few weeks.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yeah, so
yay.
she'll wear it in a couple of years, but
It'll be just the right size in a couple of years. You
there
know,
you
I
go.
said I was going to try knitting color work on this call, and I've already messed it up. It was only 1 by 1.
Darn it.
Happens to the best of us. There you go.
Well, it's funny that you say that because there is one of the motifs in this entire sweater that was so hard for me. I don't know what my brain just scrambled it. I'm just gonna like flash it up here real quick. But
Yeah, which
like
one is it?
this guy, wait, sorry. This guy right here.
Ah,
Like I don't know. It's like basically 1 by 1, and then in the middle it's like 1 3. My brain just went like haywire. I had to like resort to like a post-it note, just show one line at a time.
See, Iris, if
Not
you do a
hard.
child sweater, it's not in there.
Oh well, I really liked how
there
it
you go.
looked, but it was definitely like, what is the matter with me right now? Anybody else have some show and tell? Oh, Teresa C, I see you. Nice to see you.
Thank you. It's good to be here. So this is my first one.
Yay.
I have to tie in the ends, but that was the first one I did. I
Mhm.
have half the ends tied in. Then I went on to something else. And then I did this one.
Mm,
Very nice.
pretty colors.
Yeah. And then this one I carried them up through the back. So I have less to weave in on this one. It's funny. This is a looser gauge, and my knitting was looser on my first one, tighter on my second one. And now I'm working on one for my husband in the Jets colors.
Oh,
That's where I am right now.
Right.
Yay.
That's where we are.
Woohoo.
That's excellent. A multi-knit is like a pretty big compliment
Mm.
to a designer for sure.
Oh yeah.
I knit the hats for the pattern. I knit the blue and yellow one, and then I thought, oh, I don't actually own a hat for myself. Weirdly, a million hats in our house, none of them are mine. I'm gonna knit this black and white one, and so I knit it, and we photographed it on Nina, our model, and then it immediately somebody put it in the dryer. Like it was so felted. If it was just a little bit bigger, it would have been a great little tiny baby hat. But I was like, ugh, the fates.
Oh,
The
bummer.
fates of my personal knits are not as good.
So are you still hatless, or did you replace the hat?
I've
With
since
something
replaced,
else.
I haven't had the heart to knit a cartography for myself again, but I think I probably could go back to it now. I think enough time has passed.
I can go.
Oh yeah, Kathy.
Hello. So I made the hat first as my
Yeah.
swatch gauge, and
Mm.
I really love the top. It's
Mhm.
looking.
Yeah.
The kind of snowflake or star.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know, maybe a third of the way done with the sweater. And I was
Pretty.
actually
so
inspired
pretty.
by your sweater, Alexa. Um, but it's got blues and burgundies and mauves. And this is for my husband. And he helped pick the colors out, so he's on board.
Wow.
It's beautiful.
Awesome.
Hopefully it'll fit him.
So
I've been
Lisa,
trying it on him as I go. So I started out with the medium and I'm up to the extra large. But
there you go. Trying it on is always helpful, isn't it?
yeah, and I think probably blocking before I do the ribbing will be helpful too.
Yeah, there's a few things that always feel like they take like a painful amount of time, but then in the end they're worth it. Like when you get kind of a couple of inches on the body is a good time to block and try on. In like, I guess a perfect world, I would probably do the yoke, couple inches on the body, and then like a little bit on each sleeve. But I can't bear to have that many balls of yarn attached. But that would probably give me the best idea of whether I've got it kind of just right.
Mm, yeah.
But yeah, always painful to block mid knit. You're like, no, I just want to keep going.
Yeah. I wanted to say, Julie, your turtleneck goes great with that sweater.
This is actually an LL Bean turtleneck from Camden, Maine. So
All right.
yeah, my mother lived there for 33 years. So I thought, oh, I gotta just put it on there. So thank you. Yeah, I did that on purpose.
Huge. Mm.
Funny, somebody emailed me today and they were like, "How do you get over the fear that your sweater won't fit?"
Mm.
And I was like, "Well, to be honest, the first sweater I knit didn't fit like at all. It was it would probably be like very stylish today, but it was like super boxy, more than I intended. The body was cropped, not intendedly. And then because I didn't really understand gauge or anything, like the sleeves, I like a long sleeve, don't get me wrong, but they were like to here. And so I ended up just kind of taking a picture of myself looking sad in it, and I did frog that sweater. So, like, part of it is that you live, you learn. And the first sweater I knit, I actually knit my dad a sweater, and it was like it was a cardigan, but it was like really like a lot too big, and he still wore it anyway. So sometimes the answer is like to style your way out of it. But it is hard to get over a little bit of that anxiety. So I think, yeah, top down is good because you can try it on as you go, you can block as you go. All of those things are really nice. But also sometimes you got to love the sweater you have, not the sweater you imagined it to be. Because I don't know about everybody else here, but every time I start a sweater or a project, I'm like, I'm going to knit this one, and then I'm going to knit another one in this color, and then I'm going to knit this other thing, and you have all these plans, and I'm going to wear this outfit with this sweater that I'm imagining in my mind. And then sometimes it doesn't come out quite the way you thought it was going to, even though, all the math said it was going to be right. And so it's hard sometimes to like have this thing fresh off the needles, and it's sometimes all the mistakes that you've made seem super loud as soon as it comes off the needles. But give it a minute, change the styling, kind of got to love the sweater you've got. So my advice to her was mostly sometimes you learn a lot from your first sweater. In fact, you almost always do. But also maybe choose one where fit isn't, the most important thing. Maybe something you're going to be layering is like a good idea. I'm not sure. Is anyone doing their first sweater for the knit along? I know some. Julie, you did first color work and first sweater.
First color work for sure. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dove right in.
But I did want to say I appreciated all the measurements that you gave, like around here and from here to here and from here to here. And that was very helpful because then I would know when I was doing it, oh, believe it or not, I'm engaged, like I have the right gauge. And that was also shocking. We left-handers just don't usually do that kind of thing. So, or I don't, but I appreciated all those measurements. They were really helpful.
Excellent.
I also think that your point about Meg, I'll get right to you in a second. That the point about the mistakes or things that maybe are less than perfect as we're knitting it, and it seems like, I mean, I was just last Sunday when we had our in-store meetup, there was somebody who was showing me this. I don't know, maybe it was a slightly looser stitch. It was looking not quite like a hole, but it was definitely like, I know, but it was right under the neck ribbing. And I was like, this sweater is going to have a lot of fun things to look at besides that tiny little, and I was like, and by the way, like maybe in blocking, it's going to be a non-issue too. But it is like when it's right in front of your hands and you're thinking, oh God, is this where I should pull back? Or is this nothing? And,
Sure.
I don't know, you sort of have to have some experience too, I think, to feel reassured of like knowing what mistakes are or weirdnesses are really going to bug you or be showing or whatever.
Exactly.
But Meg, yes.
Oh, I was going to say what Alexa was saying kind of fits in with mine because I made mine and I tried it on a couple days ago and it's not done and it was too tight. But somebody suggested I wet block it and I did, and it's loosened up enough that I'm comfortable with it. But this is it so
Oh,
far.
wow. Pretty.
Oh, lovely. Love that
Thank
blue
you.
highlight in the
Really
middle.
pretty. Unique.
Gorgeous.
Really gorgeous.
Oh, I'm
Thank
so
you.
glad blocking made the difference too.
It did. Yeah, it made a big difference. It's still smaller than my other sweaters. It's hard to get the fit because you don't know how much ease is written into the pattern.
Mm.
And
Ah.
you can go by your size, but if there's like some say 10 inches of ease,
Mm-hmm.
and I might not want 10 inches of ease, so I'll go a size down.
Yeah.
But it's, I think that's kind of the tricky part of making the sweater.
It's totally true. I'm not sure if I told everyone this story last time, but so for the record, tin can knits patterns are always finished measurements. So if
Mm.
you have the same gauge, and then you can decide how much ease you like in your sweaters.
It's good to know at this point.
It's a little late for that info, but that's what we do. It's not what everybody does, though. And my sister-in-law, I tell a lot of stories about her. Her adventures in knitting have been super fun to watch. So she knit this sweater, and she was like, "Okay, I want 2 inches of negative ease." So she's a 36, so she knit the 34. But the 34 had another 4 inches of negative ease built into it. So the finished measurement was 30 inches. So now she's got 6 inches of negative ease, which she didn't find out about until it was finished. And I will say it was like a sock weight sweater. So we blocked the living daylights out of that sweater, and it did end up working. It doesn't always go that way. But that was a good firsthand look at how sometimes that can go a little bit wrong. I'm glad that hers worked out for her, though. That was
And
quite a
Meg,
bit
I think it does on the pattern when you're looking at the table, there's just a little note, and you could have missed it, but just says like that the sizing table lists the finished garment measurements. Choose the size based on your chest measurement plus desired ease. And I really love it when designers will be that specific, because it's different with but I think I are you guys seeing more designers using that finished measurement? Here's the garment's finished measurement. You choose your own adventure. I mean, that I feel like that's more of the trend lately. Is that
It's funny. I think Emily and I both like to wear our sweaters differently. So finished measurements makes the most sense to us personally. There's like
Mhm.
kind of a lot of debate about how much ease is the right amount of ease for a sweater and what different people want for it. I always think it's funny, like in a kid's sweater, you kind of want a bunch of positive ease. Like you want it to be kind of wide but the right length. Um, and you get a lot more wear out of it. Or you can knit kind of my other sister-in-law, Michelle, she recently knit her boy sweaters, and she was like, didn't really think they were gonna come out as dresses. That wasn't quite what I was going for. So she had to take out a couple inches. She went a little too far in trying to make them last a bit longer. Um, but like I like a fair bit of positive ease, and I think and Emily likes like a tight sweater. That's her jam. And there's no wrong answer to those things. So we usually start with about like the CYC measurements. We've kind of adjusted some of the sizes over the years based on things we've knit and people we've seen. But we usually start there, and then we kind of add the amount of ease that we would suggest for a pattern, because you kind of got to give some idea of how the models are wearing it and things like that. But yeah, I think for me, I like up 4 inches, 6 inches of positive ease, and Em would go with, 0 ease at the bust, which is a little bit of positive ease everywhere else. Yeah, all different styles. It's kind of depends on the times too. Like I know there was a time when the tighter sweater was more hip, and now looser sweaters are a little more in. So it comes and goes too.
Sarah and then Jamie?
I wanted to say thank you for having the men's grading in the pattern as well. I'm the one that originally got the Strange Brew from Knit Stars some years
Oh
ago.
wow. Yeah.
And so for me, I have broad square shoulders and a small bust,
Mhm.
and yoke patterns almost never fit me because if I make it for my bust with desired ease, the shoulders are way too narrow.
Mhm.
And I have a beautiful pattern from Jen Steingass, and I absolutely love it. And the wretched thing rides up.
It's like you need more fabric sooner, right? With
Yeah,
broader shoulders. Yep, yep.
yeah. And so I need to sort of like move the increases in. And what I ended up doing on the second pattern of hers that I knit before I had figured all of this out was I went up 2 sizes and the shoulders fit perfectly, but of course the bottom is way too
Yeah, you
large.
got
So
too much there.
now I've learned and I know what to look for. And I really like that the amplified strange brew that you have now has the anthology sort of make your own hat because in addition to going quite rogue with my cartography hat, um, I designed another sweater using bulky yarn. It's the first time I ever designed my own sweater from scratch, and I used that as my guide.
Excellent.
So it worked really well.
I'm
So
so
thank
glad you
you.
found the thing that works for you too. I love it. You learned a
Mhm.
lot from that sweater, right?
Yes, the ones that don't fit right. So I've
Sometimes
learned
they
a
tell
lot.
Well,
you the most, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
and Sarah is one of our local goats who also is a sewist. And so Sarah really understands sort of garment design. And always she'll be like, and I'm knitting this thing and I changed this and I did this and I lowered this and I didn't like that neckline. And it's like, you're such an interesting knitter to me, Sarah, because I feel like I'm always learning more about possibilities, and like your spirit of adventure just is right on. Love it.
That's a good way of, I would say picky,
No,
but
definitely
Well,
adventurous.
yeah,
Adventurous.
I've learned enough to know that I can do this and do that. And, I'm working on another sweater where I love the look of a boat neck sweater,
Mm-hmm.
but they drive me crazy to wear. And so I had to change and I was trying to find what pattern was I going to use for the top. And I realized I had a drop shoulder pattern that I'd made that worked. And I figured out how to put the top of that onto this boat neck sweater. And then from, right where the motifs start at the point of the shoulder down, then I could switch over to the main pattern and it worked.
You're a designer at heart, I could tell.
definitely.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thanks, Sarah. And actually, will you just hold up your sheepy hat so I can spotlight you? Because we just like flashed up there, but
Everybody has
let's
to
really
see
like,
this
Oh,
hat
here.
we
for
got to
sure.
see it. Oh my God.
With Lars.
Lars the goat is right,
So,
like
yeah.
hiding among the flock. So cute.
And I wanted it really warm on my ears, so I made the brim extra long, but I think you can see the color work better if I tuck it inside, so I have to turn it to the inside and sew it. But anyway,
Oh, so
It's
good.
beautiful. I love the sheeps.
bubble.
Jamie, hi.
Hi. So like going back to like the fit
Mhm.
conversation, because I finished the whole body and then I tried it on and I was getting ready to do the arms and because I was between sizes,
Mhm.
so I had to do some math and my math didn't math. And so anyway, um,
I'm
but I
familiar
had
with
like
this.
the whole body, I just loved how the body fit. But it was when if I had done the sleeves the way it was written, they would have been bell sleeves. So I will just say that
Ah,
it was really nice to go into the store last Sunday, and I was like, "Listen, I'm going to try this on, and I'm not going to tell you what I think is wrong with it, but I want you to see if you see and no one saw it. Like eventually, somebody saw the thing that was driving me crazy. Like, listen, if no one else can see it, I'm just moving on with my life. So,
So the
but
sleeves weren't like shaped enough,
my
or
yoke,
were they just too
oh,
big?
they were too big. So ultimately the yoke, my gauge was bigger than what my gauge swatch was. And so the yoke was huge, or not huge, bigger than I
Yeah.
thought. So when I closed it up, actually, I'll show you. I ended up having to, I learned a lot on this sweater. So
Yeah,
like,
learning phrase. We just say I learned
yes,
a lot
learned a
from that
lot.
sweater.
So like I ended up, can you see
Oh,
it? Like I ended up putting a little
oh yeah, we'll gusset
gusset in there
Yeah, yeah.
because if I had added all the stitches, it would have just been
Even
like a
bigger.
massive sleeve. Like I would have had like bell sleeves where it's all tight and
Sorry, I'm not
not
laughing.
all the look at.
Just picturing
Feel
it was
like
very
maybe
funny.
feel like you might have done that before or something. So um
For
anyway,
sure.
but it kind of felt like that was a good thing. Like if nobody else notices your mistake, then you can move on with your life. So,
It's
but
true. And
yeah.
some things are like, I know this yoke is actually, I knit my own pattern off gauge because it's, my favorite thing to do is immediately go off pattern in my own patterns. But like the yoke has like a tiny bit more fabric than I would like.
Mhm.
Like if I was going to do it again, I might do a slightly smaller yoke and more of an increase here. But to be honest, I love it anyway.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just do.
awesome.
I like your
Yep.
strategy though on the sleeve. That was a good way to get them a little bit smaller.
Well, that was a team effort. It was a team effort that day. So it was go goat team because they really talked me off the edge because it was like I had really worked hard to get the fit of the body the way I wanted it to. And
Mm-hmm.
then boom, the sleeves. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so
There were
I'm knitting a sport weight one. Sorry, there's a question in the chat. So I'm knitting a
Yep,
sport
good.
weight one. And so I decided I have this niece and she's like just a bit tiny. So she is 2 years old, but she's tiny. So I decided to start with the 2 to 4 size, which is about what she would wear. But I think when I get to the last increase, I might then I'll properly measure my gauge and decide if I'm going to do an extra increase and kind of switch sizes at that point. So wish me luck,
Cool.
I guess.
Think you got this.
Yeah. Status and tin candips adding more patterns. So good news about the app is we just added every single tin candips pattern to the app.
Great.
So it's all in there. I know a lot of you lovely folks were using the app before, and so it's a little bit different now. But yeah, we were pretty excited. That was a big project for us. And we're pretty thrilled that they're all in there now.
Awesome.
Incredible.
My question. I was curious if we had bought a pattern, could we import it then into the app now or?
Yeah, so if you've bought a pattern from us or through Ravelry, you just tap a button in the app and it'll add your purchase. But if you have like a paper pattern or like a physical book or anything, just send us an email and we'll make sure you get everything you need.
Cool.
Never buy it twice. That's the answer.
All right, thank you.
For sure.
I did have another question, but I don't know if someone else was gonna say something.
No, you're hop in there, Elena. Nice to
Okay.
see you on here.
Good to see you too. I haven't been able to make it up to the in-person lately, but I'm hoping to this Sunday. Um, I was wondering, I really like about these motifs that they're kind of sh on the shorter side and narrower. How did you decide to go that route with this design? Because it was full color work, or was there what was the inspiration, I guess, of the
Yeah, so it was
motifs?
one of the later ones that I designed in Strange Brew, and some designs are a little easier math-wise than others. Let's put it that way. We have one where the color work goes onto the sleeves called Marshland. That was a real challenge for me personally to get all of that math to work out. So I think probably on the heels of that, I was like, small repeats. Let's do it. And then the sort of loose idea with this one was kind of, it went kind of big, small. So some of them are kind of small, 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 but basically there's like kind of a big one. And then there's one that's like maybe 3 rounds in between. And it was just a bit of trial and error and kind of joy as I was knitting with the motifs. They're a bit of a whimsy. Emily had come up with like a big catalog of motifs that she made for us that's in the back of the book. And so I kind of just mostly picked and chose from there as to what I wanted to do with it. But yeah, the key was small little repeats.
Oh, that's really cool. I love it. Thank you. And I'm about to try mine on. So, but I'm threading through some thread yarn right now.
Very exciting moment.
Maybe
Can you hold up your colors for us though, Elena?
Sure. I have a rusty.
Oh,
I'm a little more than 2 inches of the body, but I'm hoping it all works out.
Wow. I love it.
Thank you.
And is this your first sweater, Elena?
No, I made a sweater before, ironically, a bottom-up seamless, which, yeah, so this is my first top-down sweater and first colorwork sweater.
Yay.
I'm nervous to start any other sweaters because this one's so much fun. I think other ones are going to be boring after this.
Once you've done all over color work, how can you just keep it in the yoke? It's going to be tough.
Well, I think it was Pat who might have stepped away for a minute. She was Pat, I was just sharing that, like you were working on your dog star body because you had the surgery last winter, so you didn't finish your dog star. And I just remember you being like, oh, so all that stockinette and the body just plain.
I'm still getting there.
I always like to have a few projects on the needles. That way, if we're doing something that I want to focus more on. Ooh, let's see your hat.
Yeah, let's see the hat pair.
I always have a boring stockinette body on my needles.
So that was my hat. Excuse me. And then I made some wrist warmers to go with.
Yes. Nice. I love them.
And then I made a sock. And now I'm working on the other sock. And I'll get back to the dog star eventually.
Awesome.
Excellent. I love that.
I'm determined.
Well, Alexa, I have a fun story. I used to teach in a high school, and one of my former students who I actually got to go to Iceland with, which was amazing, with a small group of students. But she was like a really amazing kind of self-taught knitter, and just really had such a, I don't know how to say it, but like a very sophisticated color palette, like even as just like a sort of teen just throwing stuff together, and she'd put stuff together and I'd be like, oh my God, that's incredible that you thought of those two colors and look how they work. But anyway, she called me. I haven't seen her in probably a year or two. She'll come in the shop when she's home, but she called me and I was like, oh my gosh, how are you? My first thought was like, are you okay? Like, I don't know, like just getting a cold call,
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, I'm great. I'm in California right now. My boyfriend and I are like, we worked really hard all summer and now we're, doing travel in our Subaru and camping out of the back, and tells me the whole story. And she was like, and I have some yarn and I really need to knit. I really want to knit a sweater with it right now. Like, what can you tell me?
That's amazing.
And I was like, well, okay, what yarn weight? And she's like, well, it's, a worsted weight Lopi. I'm like, okay. And she's like, I tried to go into some yarn store and like, they didn't even know what a gauge tool was. And I'm like, what even are you doing? And so so I was able to say like, okay, well, if you have Wi-Fi, download the Tin Can Knits app right now, because flax can be your vanilla pattern that you can do whatever you want with. And it's a top down and it's a raglan. And she was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. So then she just, like a couple days later sends me this picture of the yoke that she'd knit. And so there you go. I was providing knitting help way far away, but like it was so great to be able to say it's free and the app is free, and you can start knitting on it right now.
I love an adventurous knitter. That's so great. It's tough sometimes working in the shop when people come in and they're like, I've never touched a knitting needle before, and I'm definitely going to knit socks. And you're like, how can I be supportive and maybe get you to knit something smaller first? Do you know what I mean? But some
How about
people, dogs are their
hats,
first
right?
project. So I don't know. I don't want to be too discouraging.
It is the fine line that we walk sometimes. Yeah. Anybody else have show and tell? Julie down, the other Julie, the Julie from Washington State, Julie.
Sure. It would help if I would do unmuting. There we go. Excuse me. So you haven't seen this one on Facebook or any other place because I haven't put up a picture, but I figured I would show you, Alexa. And unlike most of the crew, I went for a dark background because I was using up the leftovers from last year's Dog Star.
Perfect.
So the Dog Star only has itty bitty single stitches in red for emphasis, but here we are for bright red.
Isn't that how it goes with color work too? Where you're like, oh, if I just add one more color, I could make another thing. And so it goes, and so it goes.
Uh-huh. And I want to chime in and say I like the top too. That's so much nicer than a lot of the tops are.
Yep. Yeah, it has a really there's just a little elegance. It's the same way I feel about the antler, the top of the antler hat.
Those are my two
Love
faves.
that.
That's so funny.
Oh gosh, the top of that
flower
antler
at
hat
the top.
Yes, it's perfect. It's so perfect. It's the really nice finishing detail. Vicky, hi Vicky from Kentucky.
Hi. Well, you all have seen these, but Alexa hasn't, so I'll show her. So here was my first one.
Oh, yes.
Oh my God.
Ooh, another dark background. Nice.
Yeah. And this was stuff in my stash. And then this is boy, I'm blanking out. Chow. And then the color work is Cashmerino.
I like it. It's subtle, but like I can still
Yeah.
read it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then this one looks suspiciously like the first one, but it's not the same yarn. And it is, help me, what's it called?
The Germantown,
Yes.
the Kelborn woolens.
Yes. So anyway, those are my three. And I'm taking a break from hats for a week or so because I'm working on Iris's pattern, BYO party sweater. And I have a lot of other things going too. Too many things. But anyway, those are my hats.
Yay. I especially love that first one with the all the colors. There's something that is very, very juicy about that one.
That one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
Very cool.
Lovely.
Dorothy, hi.
Hi. I made this one. I thought it was a child size that I was knitting, but it turned out to be a toddler size. So I wasn't looking correctly at the patterns, which I have a tendency to do. So, but I'm happy with the way it came out, and this is yarn from the Cashmere Goat.
Yay!
It's pink. It is a light pink and purple. So
very nice.
Pretty. Thank you.
And are you doing a sweater now, Dorothy?
No.
Okay.
I've got the yarn for more hats. So
gotcha. Perfect.
I'm always torn between the impact of the two colors versus the many colors, which is also very fun. Yeah. Oh, I don't have a picture of it, but when I was working on this sweater, I did one for my daughter that was like a rainbow all over, but it had slightly different motifs, and it was so I'd use a light purple, dark purple, and then light green, dark green, and it kind of went like that, and it was kind of the most extra knit I think I've ever knit, and I just loved it. I'll see if I can find a photo for you to share, but it was a lot, and she loved it for so long. It was one of those ones I knit kind of as a dress, so it lasted.
It makes me think of one of the goat staff, Pam, is knitting one for her daughter who's like middle school, loves color. And she is using the Chow, I think also by Jody Long. And I think the background is like a dark gray, and then it's like fuchsia and orange and green and lime green and blue. And she's like, it's a lot, but she's gonna love it. She picked out the colors.
Excellent. It's
See.
been kind of nice. My kids have a few more preferences now for their. I mean, it's nice and not nice because I don't just get to knit whatever and then they wear it, and that's a pretty good system too. But they're like 11 to 15 right now, and so now they kind of pick their sweater patterns and their yarns and their colors. But it's been quite nice. Sometimes they pick totally different color combos than I would choose, like in a good way. It's fun to watch them have a little bit of a wardrobe control.
Yeah.
Well, it also makes me, I'm just curious, any like upcoming releases, pattern releases that we should keep our ears and eyes out for?
Well, we've got two that I think this crew would be most interested in. One is an all over color work, but it's cardigan, so it's steeked. And it's got a V-neck. So Emily is working away on that one. She knit herself a black and white version that was really lovely. So I can't wait to put that one out. And then some designs I find take us a long time to do. And then sometimes we just get like wildly excited about an idea. It's like, a short time later, there's a pattern. So the other one we're working on is we have a hat called the Snap Hat, and it's like a marled. It's kind of a basic hat, but the kind of joy of it is that you hold multiple strands together. So it's 4 strands of sock yarn, is the one that we did. And it's super fun if you ever knit a snap hat. It's another one where like you knit one, then you're like, I immediately have to knit another one in a different color. So we're working on kind of the sweater version of that. So it's like a chunkier, maybe 3 strands of sock yarn and a lace weight held together. But it's been really fun. Emily, she always has more interesting color combinations than I can ever envision. She's always like, I'm going to do, what did she say? She was like, it's going to be peach to teal. And I was like, that's not a spectrum I'm familiar with. Like, I don't know how she's going to do it, but I know it's going to be good. I just got to trust at this point. After whatever 15 years, I'm like, it's going to be great, whatever you come up with. So I'm pretty excited to cast one of those on myself too.
And so that's a sweater, right? But like the sweater version of okay. So it'd be bulky, you said?
Yeah. Cool. It'll be on really big needles, so it'll be the fastest sweater you've ever knit.
I mean, the love note was pretty darn fast too.
It's fast, right? Needles are even bigger for this one.
Wow. Cool. We will stay tuned on that.
Elena, you tried on your sweater. Can we see it?
I know. I was about to say, like, we've got to see Elena's sweater.
All right.
Yeah.
There she is.
Nice.
So cute.
I think it fits.
Yeah, this is okay.
Good.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Yeah.
I think I might. Yeah. Thank you. I might do something. My ribbing, I'm terrible. I'm still
More
terrible.
ribbing?
Sorry.
More ribbing? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I think just to close it in a bit more since I'm too loose still. Because I did use the 3s and it at first it's still a lot bulkier. So I need to work on that. But
I always have to go down at least one more needle size for ribbing. Like they just have to be so tiny.
Yeah.
When I switch between knits and pearls, it loosens it a little bit. And the only way to fix it is smaller needles as far as I know.
So would you go down even like smaller, Alexa, than the 3? You would go to a 2, do you think?
Yeah, because I think so the sweater's knit on about a 4 millimeter. So I'd probably go to so you've used a 3.25 for those ones?
I was using US 6 or 7 for
the body?
6 or 7 for the bottom, and then a US 3 for the ribbing. So there was like 3 size differences, but it still was so much harder.
Yeah.
Great. I might even do like a turtleneck. I always get cold.
Oh, very nice. My dad always wants me to knit a turtleneck on his sweaters. I oblige.
I had another question. I know there's not a ton of time left, but if I wanted to do a little bit of waist shaping, I know I like this because it's not, or at least how I knit it is not oversized. I don't love oversized because I think it overwhelms me. could I add a little, like a couple decreases in between and then
Absolutely.
that would,
The only thing
okay,
is you want to, so I would probably just add it between motifs. And
right.
then your motifs maybe might not line up at the edge. I don't think that
Hide
matters
it
at all.
somehow on the back.
Yeah.
I've screwed up enough elsewhere that
Yeah, that'll be
okay.
just fine. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Yeah. Glad you asked those questions. Oh, good. Wow. I have a finished sleeve, and last weekend at the goat, it was the perfect. I had so many ends to weave in that so sleeve one, all done.
Oh, look at all those
Yay!
colors. Yes.
Yeah.
All that sleeve. And so then I forced myself to weave in all of the ends inside the body. Yes, I made it through.
You.
This yarn, the fleece BFL, oh my gosh, it was like in some places I'm like, wow, this is I almost don't even need to weave this in because it's already starting to, like, the fibers are interlocking back in there. But it's actually like so pretty on the reverse side too.
Oh,
yeah.
nice. It's
Oh,
easier to
today's
keep that neat with just the small repeats, eh? No big
Yeah.
carries.
Yes, so good. Anyway, so I'm excited to be on sleeve two, and we've had such cold weather that I'm really hoping I get to wear this cozy sweater before too long. Anybody else have questions or show and tell that haven't shown and told yet? Mary Ellen, and then maybe Cameron. Hi, Mary Ellen.
Here's my hat.
Pretty. I like that.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And then I also made
Oh, the
since it's Tin
beloved.
Can Knits, I can show it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
A
Oh,
beloved,
yeah.
which I
Yeah.
really like doing this. I will make these. These are great shower gifts.
So
Aren't
good.
they? Everybody's always so impressed.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, the
Also,
green and white is such a great combo. Such a high impact, right?
Yes.
That's what I'm
Feels
saying.
very
Colorful, two colors. Really hard to define.
And I was always kind of on short rows, and the whole hat is short rows.
Oh yeah, for the beloved, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I will say, actually, coming next week, we made an adjustment to the beloved bonnet pattern. So there's 3 different yarn weights. So that you can knit it in sock DK or worsted. So that's coming up next week.
That's exciting.
What I love about that hat too is it's like it's not boring because of the short rows, because
no
of the
TV.
yeah, but also like you could start to really see the pattern, and kind of I knit like 2 in pretty close succession last fall, and they were great little gifts.
If anyone's afraid of short rows, it's a pretty good intro.
Totally. Yes. Cameron.
So I took a lot of inspiration from Iris's colors, and this is the hat. Oops, let's see if I can do. And I don't
Nice.
remember which yarn I used, but it is so incredibly soft, and I absolutely love. And I love the little pop. And I'm only like this far into the sweater, so.
Me too. I was gonna do the ribbing last on my sweater.
Oh.
Sure. Wanted to get right into that color work.
So did you provisional cast on, or you just will pick up at the end?
I'll just pick up at the end. That's how I've been knitting most sweaters lately, but I've been having a little challenge. You know how small children in the like under 1 category, they have the like big heads, tiny little necks, and it's so hard to get that stretchy enough when you bind off. I find my cast-on's a lot looser, so I've had to do it twice now, a few times. A redo from Auntie Alexa.
Yeah. Awesome. Meg, did I spot that you're maybe wearing a flax sweater?
Actually, yes, I am. I didn't.
You.
That's lovely. Is that a
I
self-striping yarn?
Yeah, some of it. Some of it is self-striping and some of it is oh, what do you call that? It's variegated. Um it's Feederbrook Farm. I bought a skein that was mill ends. And when I went to wind it, I found it was 6 smaller balls in there. So I kind of I kind of intermixed it with solid colors because like this was one of the balls, and I guess I learned something. Mill ends is sometimes not one ball.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We are at the tippity top of 6 o'clock. It's crazy that our time just goes by so quickly, and extra so grateful to you, Alexa, for being here with us for another Zoom. Always a pleasure to hang out with you and hear from you and hear your knowledge about this craft that we love so much. So thank you.
Show and tell is probably the best part about being a knitting designer. So thank you for all of your show and tell today. It was a lot of fun. I love how adventurous. There's so many adventurous knitters happening here. It's so good.
So good.
Willing to take a little step outside the pattern to adjust it. It's sometimes a little bit scary to try to even just adjust it more to the way that you want it. So I'm so pleased for all of you. Good job.
Well, it really helps also to have such a fantastic place to a pattern that really is there as a guide, especially if you're kind of going off on your own adventure too. So kudos to you guys. All right, well, we'll keep our eyes out for these upcoming patterns, and thank you again so much, and thank you to everybody who joined us this evening, and have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much, Alexa.
Bye-bye.